Welcome to the latest episode of the Creeping Rainbow in Comics, and today we're going to be looking at a way that something just really creeped in just today, pretty much. Apparently, DC sent out a mailer to people who might be interested in the fact that they are going to be coming out with a Superboy series in the future, and this Superboy series would be focusing on Connor Kent, otherwise known as Con-El, otherwise known as the teenage clone of Superman who was created during the Death of Superman series. Basically, you had Superman die at the hands of Doomsday, and then after that, you had four different Supermen appear. One of them was a man in armor, one of them was a cyborg, one of them was some energy being, and then you had this clone of Superman, and he was a teenager, and he would eventually realize, I'm not the real Superman, and so he would put down roots in Hawaii. And while he was in Hawaii, there was a love triangle between him and a reporter named Tana Moon, who was Hawaiian, and then there was a more supermodel-esque white girl, Roxy Leach, who was also competing in a way for his affections. And this series went on for, oh gosh, I want to say it probably went on for about 100 issues or so, and then finally got retired. But they brought him back. They brought him back later in Jeff Johns' Teen Titans, where he was revealed to be a clone with mixed DNA from Superman and Lex Luthor, and that kind of plagued him and his sense of identity throughout that series, all the way up through the series Infinite Crisis, where he actually died. But then, because he's akin to Superman, he was able to be regenerated later. And when he was regenerated, then things went on from there. I didn't really follow the character much after that. Apparently, when all of this universe rebooting and stuff has been going on in the DC universe as of late, he's reverted more to his roots in terms of the more original concept for Connor Kent. He's more of a teenager, more of a inexperienced kid. He's got that same vibe that he had when he originally was in the Superman Death of Superman series. Now, what they plan on doing with him in the future, I don't know. But what they did do was in their mailer that they sent out, an email that DC Comics sent out, an official DC Comics email, they sent out a link to his story, to the story of what they plan on doing with the character, and on the box it said, "The Twink of Steel." Now, twink is a slang word. It is used by the gay male community to refer to a young man who is generally slim and hairless and very young looking, and usually very young. And it is basically used as a kind of category for a particular type of gay man. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, my God, what have we gotten to the point where DC Comics is actually inviting homosexual lust upon its characters? I mean, and it's young characters as well, because when you use the label twink, you're inevitably thinking of somebody who's young, and even the hairlessness of the person, which is implied by that, is also kind of pointing to youth on account of the fact that it's usually the more adult, the post-pubescents among us who are the hairier among us. This to me is a very disturbing vibe to send out in an email to DC Comics subscribers. I would almost understand if this were something that were sent out like maybe to a gay subset, like if people had like put down in their DC Comics mailer membership that, hey, I'm a gay male, and then they sent this advertisement to you in the mail thinking, okay, configured for your particular predilections, here is here is this box labeled the Twink of Steel. But to send it out to everybody like that, that to me is trying to normalize this homosexual term into the this subcultural term into the mainstream culture through comic books. I don't really see much of any excuse for this. This to me is taking a particular brand of lust and trying to spread it around. And what's more, can you imagine who's going to wind up fulfilling that role, say in a live action kind of setting? If somebody comes out with a Superboy TV show or a Superboy movie and it's based on this particular character, and your character has become known as a twink, what the hell is DC Comics intending with this? Why on earth would you be catering to this? I mean, I'm trying to think, moreover, in terms of any of the female characters or any of the other male characters in DC Comics where they have been specifically referred to by some sort of term of sexual lust. Do we have anybody who's like the beefcake of steel, the hunk of steel, the babe of wonder, the oh God, the hot chick of Canary Cries, what the hell else can you find throughout comics that suddenly DC thought it was appropriate to refer to one of its characters by a term referring to a particular kind of sexual target? I don't know where the minds of these DC Comics editors or content producers is going, but it seems increasingly toward the gutter. I don't trust the big two anymore. I really don't. I don't trust those comics. I don't trust a lot of what passes for independent comics. As much as I would love to say that Comicsgate and their creators have nothing to really talk about, that they have nothing to be concerned about, DC and Marvel and other comic book creators are more and more out there trying to convince people that you actually do have something to worry about. You actually do have to worry about these particular cultures coming in through our comic books like Trojan horses and infiltrating your kids' minds and turning your kids' minds in ways that you would never want them to go if you had any say over it. But so long as you keep catering to the mainstream and buying their product, how are you going to prevent your kids from suffering that kind of mental infestation? I tell you, when DC and Marvel do things like this, they're giving Comicsgate all the ammo they need to press their case and say, no, buy our books, because we're not coming for your kids. I'm Mike Partika. Thank you for watching this latest installment of the Creeping Rainbow in Comics, and hopefully I will not be given reason to talk to you later. But good luck with that.